All right, today I'm going to use Photoshop to edit 3 picture files to get them ready. So I'm going to start by I'm going to go find my files first. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive. I've got my building, I've got my selfie, and I've got my tree. And so I'm going to go ahead and download those from my Google Drive. So I'm going to right click, download. I could also click on it. I could double click it. It then has a download there. Okay, I can click on it there. I can go to the 3 dots and I could download there. So that's 3 ways that you could download. You can right click, download. You can double click and then download. You can select 3 dots and download. So that's 3 ways. Next, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to open my Photoshop and I want to go to New, File, New. I want to go to Web. Today I'm going to use a web medium size, web medium. I'm going to go ahead and name it 1-Louis. I'm in first period, my last name, my first name, and I'm going to call this 3 pictures. Okay, so I've got my file. Here's my artboard. So now I need to place my photos. So I'm going to go to File. I can either place embedded, meaning embedded means that it's going to place the file into Photoshop, or I can do a place linked, which means that the file itself is not in Photoshop, but the data is being copied over. And so to make sure that my photo is more easily editable, I'm going to go ahead and edit the image in. I'm going to go ahead and embed. I'm going to place the image into Photoshop. So I'm going to choose Place Embedded. I'm going to go to my Downloads folder. There's my trees with cows. I'm going to place it. Okay, so there it is. I'm going to open up my layers. There's my tree with cows. Let me make this a little bit wider. All right, and I want to stick. There we go. All right, so we got that there. Let me bring this up a little bit. That's not what I wanted to do, but that'll work. Okay, and so there's my, so I'm going to, all right, so it's here, so I can resize if I need to. I can rotate. I'm fine with it, so I'm just going to double click it, turn that off. There's my tree. I need to place my other image, so I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded. I need my selfie, so I'm going to place my selfie. There's my selfie. It's got the resizing corners. It's placed it into layers and into its own separate layer. So I'm going to click on the Move tool. It's going to ask me, do I want to place it? I'm going to say yes, place. In the off chance your layers is not showing up, is that you should go to Window, Workspace, be set on Essentials default, and then reset Essentials. Okay, and then it should pop up. And then to make room, I close the windows I don't need. Okay, so this fixed the order issue where I had stuck this in there by accident. Now I need to place my building. So I'm going to go to File, Place Embedded. There's my building. Okay, there's my building. Okay, so I took a picture it was driving down the road, and as you can see, this is in the passenger seat, so my passenger took the photo of this. Actually, I think I took the picture, somebody else was driving my truck that day. Okay, so it's over here. Now it's got these little graphics right here on the corner, and when I hover over it, it says a Smart Object Thumbnail. And so these are not really ready yet for editing, but that's okay. I'm going to activate them for editing. So I don't get confused. See, I've got my little eyeballs turned on, so I don't get confused on the visibility. I'm going to turn off each picture that I'm not working with. So I'm going to start with the building highway, because what I need to do now is I need to separate out my building from the background. So I need to use either the rectangular marquee, the elliptical marquee, single row marquee, or the single column tool, or I need to use a lasso tool because I want to select my building and I want to get rid of everything else. I'm going to go ahead and select the Polygon Lasso. And what I'm going to do is with the Polygon Lasso, it allows me to, with straight lines, it allows me to select out an area. So right now I'm just kind of roughly selecting, the area that I want to cut out. Okay, so I'm selecting, and when I get to the end, then I can double click. Whoops, I messed it up. So we're going to go around again. And I'm just kind of going around. Right now I'm just doing it crudely. I can get closer in for my clipping, my editing here in a little bit, but right now I just need to get the rough object out and separate it. And there we go. Okay, so I double click. Whoops, and we just lost that. Let's get back down. Okay, turn it off. Used it to turn it off. I'm going to select another marquee tool, and then I'm just going to click in the white space. I'm going to come down here to my magnifying glass, right click, fit on screen. There we go. And let's do this again. So click, 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 and there we go. Okay, so now it's selected. Now, right now, I've only got this selected. These are called marching ants because they look like ants that are marching. And so this is my selected area. Well, I want to delete all of this background area. I don't want this highway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Select, Inverse. So now you see my marching ants are all around here. Okay, and then I'm on this layer right here. So now what I can do is I can press the Delete key. Oh, and it couldn't do it because the object is not editable because it's a smart object. So I need to deactivate. Remember this right here where it says smart object? So I need to deactivate that. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to convert it to a raster. Remember, a raster is a bitmap. Okay, it's pixels on the screen. Okay, so now it's editable. So now I can press delete. Okay, so there it is. Everything's gone. All right, so I'm going to turn off my marquee or my selection. So I'm going to just go to a regular marquee tool and I'm just going to click in a blank space and then that's turned off. Now I want to do the same thing for my selfie. I'm going to turn that on. This time I'm going to use the left click. I'm going to use the magnetic lasso. What the magnetic lasso does is that and it's the tip of the arrow, is that it's kind of, you got to go slow, but what it's doing is it's using an algorithm to look and compare one side of the line that you're on with another side. So it's a closer fit, okay? And you can always force the click by clicking. And so, but you haven't heard me click because I only clicked that first time to activate it. And so it's using an algorithm and looking at the colors on either side of the line that I'm drawing. And a couple of times you see it kind of goes a little wide. I'll clean that up in a minute, okay? But right now, I'm just looking for a crude cutout of myself, okay? Now it's getting the grass, the dry grass in my outfit confused, but that's okay. So we're gonna click here at the bottom. We're gonna go across the bottom here, and we're gonna go across the top up here. Very crude. We're gonna go ahead and go all the way up, and then we're gonna come down across. Okay, so it's kind of following along. All right, and there we go. So now we got that selected. So now I am selected. I can always go back and redo it to try to capture these areas a little better, but I can clean those up later. So I'm going to go to Select, Inverse. Okay, so now all this outside area is selected. Now remember, when I press Delete, it's going to say you can't do it because it's a smart object. Okay, so we got to go right click. I have to convert it to a raster. So I'm going to rasterize layer. Okay, now it's editable and I'm going to press delete and now my background is gone. Okay, I'm going to choose the marquee tool. I'm going to just click in the space. I'm going to slide this over. Okay, I can turn this back on. Okay, there we go. So far I've got these two clipped out. And we're going to go there, we're going to go there. We're going to turn on the tree. Now this one's going to be a little bit harder to get. So what I'm going to do is now I could use the marquee tool. Okay, so I'm just going to use the marquee tool and I could just go up. Okay, and then after I've got that, then I can go to select inverse because remember I want to cut all this out. Okay, and then I come here, go right click, rasterize layer. Okay, then I come back to my image, press delete, it's all gone. Okay, but I want the tree. Okay, I don't mind having the cows, but I just want this tree. So now I'm going to go to the lasso tool, but I got old man eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to zoom out. Let's see, we're at 300%, so I'm going to go to 200%. Okay, I'm going to use my lasso tool. So I'm going to left click, choose the lasso tool. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click once to deactivate that. And then I'm going to start drawing. Now the lasso tool, you have to left click and hold. Okay, so you got to left click and hold. And now I have to kind of go around with the area that I'm cutting out. So I'm tracing what I want to cut out. Okay, so that's what I'm doing now. The lasso tool allows you to trace around what you want to cut out. Just kind of zoom around there. Now your finger could get tired, so just be prepared to do what you're doing and get through in time. Now you can always come back in and you can try to clean up these other spaces. So if you're just trying to crudely grab, is that you can get some extra stuff and then you can come back in later with either other Photoshop tools or with either the lasso or marquee tool. Oh, just that was crazy. And so, well, that was crazy too. And so, but right now I'm just trying to crudely capture, and I'll use my Photoshop skills to maybe try to fix some of the stuff that I've missed. And so, or if you need to start over, you need to start over. Okay? It happens. I don't think any of that's part of this tree, so I'm just going to cut this out. Now, if you were doing this for a customer or a client or work, sometimes you need to start with a good picture. So you may end up having to start totally fresh with a better picture. All right, so now I've got the tree selected. So I'm going to go to, because remember, I want to delete this background. So I'm going to go to Select, Inverse, and Delete. So I got my tree. Now this little tree brush thing that's right here, I don't really want it, but I'm stuck with it for right now. Okay, so now I'm going to turn that off. Turn it on, right click. Oh, we already did that. So we got it there. Now what I can do is that I can actually move things around. Okay, so I'm going to change my view back to 100%. So I'm going to right click, fit on screen. It takes me to 94%. I'm going to move some things around. I got my selfie. I'm going to put my selfie over here. I'm going to put my building over here. And I've got my tree right. Now I'm going to put my tree up here. There you go. Now, if I wanted to resize my stuff with this layer selected, I could go to, I think it's Edit, and then I can either go to Transform and I can do Scale, or I could go to what's called Free Transform, where it puts these anchor points. These little white boxes are called anchor points. It allows me to spin it. It allows me to pull it wide, pull it down, or pull it at a corner. If I pull it at the corner, okay, it's not doing it proportionally. I have to hold the Shift key to do it proportionally. So I can pull it down and let go, and it'll snap in place. Okay, you notice it's a little fuzzy, okay? And the reason why it's a little fuzzy is because it's pixelated, because we're dealing with a raster graphic, all right? So because we're dealing with a raster graphic is that it's not recalculating the points, and so it's spreading the points apart. I'm going to go to my building. I'm going to right click. No, we don't have any right click options. Okay, I want to transform that. So transform again is Edit. I'm going to use Free Transform. I can also press Control T, Control plus T at the same time to edit. So I'm going to do, so I've got that. I'm going to hold the Shift key down. Okay, I got that. All right. And double click to turn that off. And there we go for right now. Okay, this is all I need to do right now. Okay, this is all I need to do right now. I've got them in 3 separate layers ready for the next thing. Okay, and I'm going to go to File. I'm going to, because I already named my file, my class period, my last name, my first name, -3 pictures. So this is 3 pictures. So I already named it. So I can just do a file save. If I did not name it, I can do a file save as. I want to save it as a PSD, as a Photoshop file. And so that way it's editable. Photoshop files are editable in Photoshop. They are not final files, but I need to save it in the correct folder. So I'm going to go to my documents. I'm going to go to my classroom file, and I'm going to save it there, and I'm going to click Save. To turn this file in, I need to go to File, Export, Export As, and then I need to make sure that I'm saving it as a PNG. Okay, I don't need to resize it, but if I needed to resize it, maybe it's too big, maybe I want to put it on my phone. If I wanted to put it on my phone, then I would resize it, either the width, the height, or the scale. Okay, right now, because I'm at 1024 by 768, I'm at 100%. So if I wanted to change that to like a third, it's going to adjust all of that. Okay, I don't need that done right now. So we're going to leave it at 100%. Okay, and all the metadata, we're going to leave all that intact and click export. Okay, it's going to, because the name of this artboard was artboard 1, okay, that's why it's going to default it to call artboard 1. I'm going to call it 1-Louis-James-3 pictures. Okay, I don't need to add the .psd, and so it's going to automatically put the .png at the end. Okay, there we go. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.